Welcome to Rising Tide Startups, where we chat with startup founders and solopreneurs just like you from all over the globe. During our chat today, picture yourself starting your own startup journey. If our guests can do it, you can too. This is the Rising Tide Startups podcast. My name is Kevin Pruitt. We have a very special guest with us today. Tekla, thank you for joining us on Rising Tide.
Thanks for having me.
If you and I met at a networking event, say in Bali, for instance, how would you introduce yourself to me?
Sure. I would say my name is Tekla. I'm from the Republic of Georgia. I've been living in Bali for past 4 years now. So now I call Bali my second home. I'm a career mentor. I help people find their dream careers and design their life around it. Life that is free, flexible, and just happy.
So it's really interesting because I've interviewed a number of different like life coaches, career coaches, whatever you want to, whatever framework you want to carve that out. But if you had to define like happiness, like you said, I want them to achieve happiness. I want them to be happy in whatever they choose to do. How would you define that? Are there like 3 points, to happiness here that you're trying to achieve?
I think the best way to explain that is my own thing. So how I achieved happiness in my career. So this little thing that like having a remote work and having flexibility and having freedom to be wherever you want to be gave me happiness and changed my life entirely. When I lived back in Georgia, I would never imagine this. I always wanted to have location independent job, but I just wanted to have like kind of easy job. But I would never imagine how much it can change to me. So yeah, happy life is you wake up in the morning, you are not stressed to work. You just have flexibility and freedom to have your routine in the day, do whatever you like to do, like not only work, but also like live as you want to live. You are happy to wake up. So for me, I guess how you spend your days and how you feel about waking up is one of the biggest like indicator if you're happy or not. And for careers, not only having a job that gives you the salary, but something that excites you about the job.
Yeah.
When you're working 8 hours a day, it's just exciting. Team is exciting. Environment where you are, how you work, how you achieve goals with the team, it's just exciting. So that gives you happiness and dopamine and all the good stuff.
I love the way you frame that. One thing told you I was going to ask you before I hit the record button was I want you to pronounce your full name. You said your first name was Tekla. Pronounce your
Yes,
full name for us.
yes. It's Tekla Tskhvediani. A little bit difficult to pronounce for people, I understand, but it's like very, very common Georgian name. All Georgian names pronounce similar way, like alien-like. So yeah,
Alien, I love that.
alien-like.
All right, so we're gonna take a little time capsule here. We're gonna go back a few years and go back to Georgia. Go back to what was your mindset when you were sitting there? I'm assuming you were, maybe working for a company there in Georgia or whatever, and you're thinking, okay, I got to get out of here. What were you
Yeah.
thinking, and what were some of the things that you did early to kind of create the space, even for your imagination to go to, hey, I could work remotely and from Bali.
Yeah. Well, I was in a very corporate environment for many, many years. I was working in the hospitality industry for like big hotels, a very, very corporate environment. I was quite successful also, and I was never really thinking I wanted a big change, but I wanted to move somewhere else. Because, for decades, we are taught that to be successful in a career, that means you need to be located somewhere. It's like you need to it's like location-based mindset. So if I want to have a good career, I need to work somewhere in my community or in my city or in my country. Later, I realized that it's necessarily not like that anymore. World has changed. It's different now. You can live wherever you want to live and work for a global company. So you don't need to be located anywhere. Like it's very, very old mindset. I've tried many times to apply jobs and get rejected many times. I just want to be honest. I don't want to say that I had a strategy and that's how I came here. Not really. It just kind of happened. I moved here with my boyfriend for just a few weeks and we just stayed. So when we decided to stay in Bali, then I figured out how to afford
Okay.
to live. and stuff like that. Otherwise, in Georgia, I didn't really have this mindset. I always wanted something more. Like all my friends now, when they text me, when they're asking me about my life, they're always telling me, we knew you would go and have this kind of life at some point. Even my old coworkers or old bosses tell me that we somehow knew that you would be somewhere else in a better situation. So I guess I always had that ambition, but I never knew how to do it, or I would get rejected and just stop. But yeah, this just happened kind of accidentally. I moved here and I just had to make it. So then I made it. So yeah, I'm very happy about that.
So tell me some of the things that you did or you thought about trying early, like, go back to the early days in Bali. So what were some of the ways that you made money that either worked, didn't work, and how it led you to where you are today?
Yeah, so I worked on many different roles when I moved here. I had different remote jobs, somewhat like short term, for a year and a half. I worked in a different roles like in sales, in customer success, etc. But I was like mass applying when I decided I want to stay in this country on this island. I started to mass applying. I just went to get any job. It didn't matter what job it is. Is it going to pay to me? Okay, I'm good about it. So I just went to get the job. I didn't have any strategy. I didn't have any big ambition, anything at all. I was just at the end of the month, I want to pay my rent and have money for food. So how am I gonna do that? So that's how it started. And then luckily, all the jobs I really had in past 5 years, all of them were, I feel very lucky about them. They were all good positions and all good companies, all like startups, really cool startups. I would be offered the position that I've never worked on before, but
Hmm.
just give me the opportunity. So that also helped me to like grow in my career very fast. So I started as like a sales agent or customer success manager. And for last 3 years, I've been working as a startup consultant. So I now consult the startups and I work with different startups together. Like right now, I work with 3 startups. I just consult them. I'm not their employee, but so it kind of helped me grow fast. But as I said, when I started, I just wanted any job, and I would accept any job that would just pay me. So that was my mindset. So it just gradually happened. I don't want to say, oh, this is how I planned, and this is
Hmm.
how you can plan and go there. No, it just kind of happened naturally.
So take us to what you're doing now.
So now I have my own business. The name of the business, it's like a coaching business, is Tekla Toppings. It reminds me of Mary Poppins a little bit. So I love how it sounds. So it's Tekla Toppings. I help people. So my mission is not that someone just finds another job, the next job, but I help people find their main strengths, like unique strengths and skill set,
Hmm.
and then position themselves in the global economy. I really want people to have careers that are not only for money, but it just gives you freedom, flexibility, network, new connections. It's just fun, happy, especially in startups. I always advise everyone to, if you work in a big company, huge corporation, just move to a small startup.
Hmm.
Startups, all teams are just good for your soul. There's
Yeah, I
a lot
love
of
that.
connection, teamwork. You think and talk and work like a CEO. You could be like a marketing manager or like an editor, but you every day on the meetings and in the business think like a CEO or the
Hmm.
founder. It really develops your skills so much faster. That's what I want people to have, just to feel valued, appreciated with what the unique skills that they have, and just feel happy. Just wake up in the morning, feel happy about it. Be in the business of remote setup, have network in that remote setup, because these little things that I just mentioned changed my entire life. So I believe that it can change other people's lives as well, even though it sounds like it's just a job, just the
Yeah.
next job. Yeah, but if you do it right, if you're in the right situation, in right environment with your unique skill set, it changed your life. Like your entire life changes.
Hmm. I know that you were also in the fitness space for a while, whether you're a fitness coach or, talk about that a little bit.
No, actually never, I've never said I'm a fitness coach, but for some reason, because I was doing a lot of fitness content, because Bali is just the island where you are a fitness person or not,
Yeah.
you just become the fitness person here. So I love fitness. I love workouts. I love going to the classes, and I love this lifestyle in general. So I was posting a lot of videos about fitness content, and people would reach out to me and ask me to coach them. I'm like, I have no idea. I have zero idea how to coach you. I have no idea about nutrition. I can do that, but I was actually thinking a little bit 2 years ago to maybe get the certificate and do that
Yep.
because I really enjoy it. But then during that period in the gym, I helped people find jobs. I had one of my Australian friend find job. Then she asked me to help her friend in Australia, and that's how this kind of started. Then I understood, okay, I'm actually helping people with this, so I can maybe help more people. So I mainly started with my friends and family and their friends, and then I had to decide which business to go to,
Hmm.
and it's more like very unique for me because this is also my story. So yeah.
So one thing that I've discovered in doing more than 300 podcast interviews, and a lot of them are early stage startups, is that
Yep.
early stage startups generally don't have any money.
Mhm.
And so that was one thing. I mean, you picked an industry where you're like, I'm going to start. I'm going to be a consultant in an industry where nobody has any money. So, is
Yeah.
that something you run into as you worked with clients?
Yeah. So I've done this for almost 3 years now. First 2.5 years, I was doing everything for free. I was doing 2 workshops a month, English and Georgian. I was doing group consultations, all of that, just sharing the resources, putting out the content, like a lot of things, and all of that for free. Because exactly for that reason, because I was thinking, I don't know how to explain this exactly, but I had this feeling that I can afford it. It might not be smart for business to do all of these things for free, but I was feeling that like financially, I don't need that right now. I have money, and also like emotionally, I have the resource to
Mm,
give and just give this first boost to everyone. So at the moment, I have 84 people who I have helped, like actual help, like they are in that career now. They're happy. They're giving me their feedback, and I haven't taken any money from them, not like $1
wow.
from all people. But I have had like collaborations with like big companies who
Hmm.
wanted to help them hire right people. So there are like different ways how I get money in my
Yeah.
business. And now I started like 2 months ago to actually have like a rate set
Hmm.
for my consultancy and for my services. So this just happened now. Otherwise, before that, I would get money for business, but not from the people, not from the
Right.
people that
Right.
helping to.
Right. You're
And
building kind
this
of
is
building your client base there. You're and building some authority and credibility in
yeah,
the
exactly.
space.
I went through a lot of like different mindsets through it. First was I just want to do this all for free for many, many years. And at some point in future, some big company comes and sponsors me or something. Like this was my mindset. Even though people would text me, can I have one-on-one coach? It doesn't matter the price, just tell me, can I have one-on-one coach? And then I would do like group sessions for free. And I was just feeling good because I guess it's like my own trauma before when I
Hmm.
really needed and I didn't have so much money to invest. I just needed help in that moment. So I wanted to give back to people who really needed help. But it has changed a lot how I do business.
Yeah, I love that story. And it was one thing that you mentioned, in the kind of the pre-materials that we go through, prior to setting up the podcast here is, one thing you mentioned was, what's unique about you is just, people don't understand the difficulties that I've gone through to get to this point. So you want to share some of those?
Sure. So yeah, I have lived the whole thing about my business. Everything is like very deeply personal to me because I have gone through all of these things myself. I wanted to change something. I didn't have energy. I didn't have motivation. I would have energy and motivation for a few days. I would do my best, but then
Mm,
I have to pay rent. I need to focus on work. Just in general, I maybe was not that happy also like because of the busyness of life in general. So I would start to do things. I was not sure if I was doing it right, but in my mind, I was doing my best. But then I would get stuck and I would stop. And it really costed me years of being stuck in one location. Like for 11 years, I was in the hospitality industry. And for last 5 years, I was trying to get out, but I never really put so much effort in it. So it's very close to my heart to really help people with practical steps, not only give them the idea, but how to do this exactly. For example, I had a coach when I needed to, when I was trying to apply to jobs. And she gave me very good resources, but she could give these resources to 100 people, just the same things. And it was not really helpful for me. I
Mm-hmm.
needed the specific for this is my experience. How can I earn good money on the global market with this experience? How
Yep.
can I approach to companies? What can I do? Like strategies, like practical things. Okay,
Mm.
I did email to this person, I send a video or introduction or something to this person. Okay, what comes next? How can I, very, very specific details where people get stuck and they're not sure what to do. For example, one of the things I always laugh about is one of the concerns that people have is after the interviews, if it's okay or not to follow up with the email. This is very
Mm-hmm.
little detail, but
Yep.
people are concerned, they're like stressed. It's very difficult and very tough emotionally when you need job to survive. If you're in that situation, these kind of little ridiculous details matter. You're really like, how can I message them? My English is not perfect. How can I write this email? So these kind of details. So my mindset from the beginning when I started this business was that I'm going to be very detail oriented, strategic. So this is what I do today. This is what I do by Friday. These steps, follow these steps. And so yeah, because of my experience, and now I apply this to my coaching.
I love that. And I would love to unpack that a little bit because tell me, what does a typical day look like in Tekla world?
Lot of LinkedIn messages. I always have like on weekly basis, I have like around 300, 350 LinkedIn messages that I try to respond. And I always prioritize people who are at the moment currently doing the interviews because they need the most help and most
Mm-hmm.
focus and attention. So I talk to them. I understand where they need help. We do calls. Mainly I do group coaching because like 90% of questions people have, like 200 people have asked me, are the kind of same. So if I'm
Mm-hmm.
answering one person, everybody knows how to
Yep.
do this. And one of the most important thing in my coaching is, and I guess the reason for success for my clients is that we practice a lot of things. I don't know, only tell them this is how you need to send the introduction video to someone, CEO. We then do the practicing together. They send me the video, I will review. So very, very detail oriented,
Mm-hmm.
practical, creative ways to approach this situation. And another thing would be that I always try to break the old pattern, how we were applying to jobs like years ago. That doesn't work anymore. Resumes almost not doesn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like LinkedIn profile is very important. Your presence, how you
Yep.
show your value is very important because resume, for example, it looks like a legal document. Nobody really speaks that language in real life. So these things doesn't work. You need to approach very creative way to really show your personality, how you are and your strengths. So we go through those details. First, my first goal is to make them aware, to forget all those things that doesn't work. I've tried so many times that they don't work. Nobody wants to listen to that, especially like startup owners, young entrepreneurs. They're very creative people. They don't want
Mm-hmm.
to deal with all of those things. So be creative about your own like applying to jobs or about your career path. And yeah, then we just deep dive into details, how to do it. We practice it together, and then they go and do it themselves. And yeah.
And now here's a quick word from one of our new sponsors on Rising Tide Startups.
Every episode of Rising Tide Startups is sponsored by Pod Brand Media. So you started your own company or branded podcast, and now it's fading. Let Podbrand give it new life. Check out podbrandmedia.com to learn more. So one thing that people that I interview with struggle a lot, especially early stage, is how do they price their services? So how
Yeah.
did you arrive at, hey, this is my rate, this is my hourly rate, I have a package that I offer. How did you land on what you would consider a fair value?
Yes, I did definitely looked at the prices on the market, And because for first few years, my target audience was like Georgia, I specifically was doing like workshops in Georgian, like meetups in Georgian. So I was really concentrated in Georgian. I considered the salary, average salary in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I came up with the first price. But at the moment, I would say that as I have more experience with almost like 5,000 people now, and I know how they can achieve their goal in a shorter time. I don't want it to take someone for a year to apply and to spend all the energy and all of that. Now I'm more confident and I get more results and I get more excited. And now I have the price that I would say very, very fair still, because I'm still in that mindset that I want to help you first. After some years, I might rise the price. But at the moment, just I can afford to help you with that price. So I'm happy with that. I do group coaching, I do the personal coaching. And yeah, I did some research before I set the price.
I think it would be easy to get caught in the trap of, well, I didn't have any money then, so I'm not going to charge them because I don't think they have any money either. So, I mean, that almost seems like it's like a self-defeating prophecy that you're thinking,
Yeah.
well, they don't have any money, so I'm not going to ask them for any money. But
Yeah.
actually your service is valuable.
Yeah.
There's value there. So how do you get over that mindset?
I definitely had that mindset, and I think you get over it after you gain more confidence.
Mm,
And the confidence in your business only comes from evidence, you having an
hmm.
evidence
The
that your
results, yeah.
nothing, I don't believe that anything else helps there, or like manifesting that you have a great business and I can charge more and I deserve to have more. Those doesn't work. It just over time you get confident because you see the results, and now you just naturally you say, okay, my time now costs a little more because I'm confident. And I can say I was even like last year when I had more time to work with like privately with people, I was even telling them that this is guaranteed. If you don't get the job, I give you full refund, because I was like very sure that if I work with you and then if we talked about these things and I identified what's your strength and how we can apply this to the global market, I can guarantee you that in about a year, if you follow all the things that we talked about and we worked on,
Hmm.
you get the job. So yeah, I would say after you become confident when you have evidence.
I love that answer. I think that is the only way you're really going to get over imposter syndrome, and that
Yeah.
is to deliver, on the promises that you make as in your service. But I'm really curious, and it's still, very early stage in Tekla Toppings. And so tell me, what would you consider your biggest win so far?
That I have a lot of people, a lot of followers that I gained organically. Like I mainly was focusing on LinkedIn. I've never even once in my life on LinkedIn posted anything about my service. I've never sold. Like you won't find any content that I've made in these years that's like, Sally, this is the price, just book the meeting with me or book the consultation. I've never posted anything like that. That's even remotely salesy.
Hmm.
So I guess because I was just sharing the value, I was really helping people. One feedback that I get from testimonials is that people really feel that I wanted to help them.
Yep.
Uh, and I was really motivated to help them and see their results. And then let's talk about how happy you are and how much I have helped you.
Hmm.
Let's see the results first. So I was putting out this content that was 100% concentrated on how that person sitting there, very tired after work, after like 9 p.m., very tired. They need to wake up in the morning and do the same thing. They're tired, they're emotionally tired, drained. How can they just take the pen and paper or like open computer and do these steps? They don't need to think. I don't want
Hmm.
to say this, your resume should be detailed. Okay, what does that mean?
Yep.
I need to show me the resume and show me the lines of where you mean this is detailed. So I wanted to give them the everything like detailed, so that they just need to change the name or
Hmm.
like just apply their information, but everything else, the structure, the logic is there, so they can just follow, just relax and follow what I say, like line by line, and get there.
Yep. You don't have to think about it.
Yes. So
Yeah, because
I
they've
guess
already
then,
sent out 100 resumes and they've gotten zero response, so they're tired anyway.
exactly. Yes. So I guess then people saw this, and very, very quickly I really get like on the weekly basis, I get around 200, 300 DMs
Wow.
without having once. I've never done I don't even know how to do the marketing, and I saw on LinkedIn. But anyways, I do a lot of workshops. I get a lot of testimonials, and yeah, I just get a lot of love. So that motivates me.
I can imagine you're at some point in time, I think you're going to have to come to the point you're going to say, you know what, I'm spending so much time doing this and there's providing so much value. I'm going to have to be more selective, like in the people that
Yeah.
I'm working with,
Yes.
and really hone in on that service and really see, I think that's when your income is certainly going to jump, and you're going to see and then you're able to help more people even through
Exactly.
that. I mean, and once again, it's pretty early stage, but tell me one area where you think, that, man, I wish I wish I could do that over. I feel like that was a mistake, or that was something that I tried, it didn't work. I learned from that.
Yeah, one mistake that I've made in business is that I took a lot on myself. And for example, I was like just by myself answering 200 messages a week. And it's not only answering the messages, people are asking you very specific question, and
Yep.
you can answer someone's question logically. You need to know their situation. What's your experience? What you have tried? What kind of like, how is your English? Or all of those things. What have you done so far? What's the result you've gotten? So there's a lot of back and forth communication, and I was taking a lot, and that drained me a little. But now I have help with like DMs and all of that. And why I kind of regret that a little is that then I was rushing to answer to people, and I was not happy about it. They would find it very useful, and they were very thankful, but I was not giving them the value I would like in my heart want to
Mm-hmm.
give them. Didn't have so much time. I was just trying to give them as much as I could. So yeah, there would be something that if I was doing it over, I would manage it better way to have more time, and yeah.
And you got help, like back office, you got a virtual assistant doing some of that work for you,
Yeah,
or
I
yeah,
have now. I don't need to be
yeah,
lost in those DMs every day.
yeah, I can't even imagine. What's one thing in the near future that you're kind of planning that really has you excited right now?
My goal by 2026 is to have helped 5,000 people achieve their career goals and have their dream life designed around it. By far, it's 85-ish, 84, 85.
Hmm. Which is 10 more
That
than
is, yes,
your website
my
says. So
goal. Yeah,
you gained
yeah, yeah.
10 more
I need
since
to
then.
update. Also, I need to update on Instagram. And so I need to get to 5,000. That's the biggest goal I have, really. And in general, just to, continue to expand, continue to help more people, just wake up happy, spend my days doing what really gives me joy. And yeah, be connected with people around me, have my business, be in more podcasts. That's a
Hmm.
big goal also for this year. And
Watch out, those crazy podcast hosts will reach out to you on LinkedIn.
yes, I actually have to. I have to. And to have a look. I love podcasts. Well, I have already achieved that I'm on your podcast, so you're starting to
There you go. That's exactly right. I'm curious. So, you kind of talked about, your early career life, but I love this question. Think back to when you were about 15, 16, 17, kind of going out of the school age and maybe into adulthood. And what did you think you were going to be? What
Yeah.
did you think your career was going to be?
Yes. Okay, everyone who is listening to this, keep in mind that I'm from Georgia, from the Republic of Georgia. When I was 16, it was different time in Georgia, and all my friends were getting engaged and getting married. Okay, so maybe at some point I was kind of thinking about that because that seemed like what people are doing around. I did always wanted to, I don't know why, but because maybe I was watching series, I was watching Friends, I don't know why, but I always had ambition to go out of Georgia that I really always had from childhood. So somewhere there was that option, but I was not ambitious like you see me now. It was like different environment, different
Hmm.
situation. I was just living my life, was going to school. My friends, they were getting engaged, they were getting married by the age I was 19. A lot of my friends already had kids. So it was like very, very different age. And also we had a little bit difficult situation at home. So I was not really focused. I wasn't really hopeful that, oh, I'm going to have a great career and I'm going to go to this university. And so I can't really say anything inspiring from when I was 16. I was just living my life and had ambition somewhere, but environment was very, very different. I really didn't know what I wanted to do. My parents wanted me to be a doctor, and I kind of liked the idea of it. But I was not really seriously thinking about a career when I was 16.
So how difficult would it be to go to medical school in Georgia?
Hmm, quite, because they're like medical universities are quite expensive. But like I liked the idea, but practically what I had to do and what I had to learn for many, many years, that absolutely doesn't excite me at all.
I
No,
can
the
imagine.
only
Yeah.
thing I actually wanted to learn, but I realized that after I was like 19, 20, was I wanted to learn psychology. And I was always saying, I'm only gonna learn psychology, or I'm not going to the university. I don't want to spend time there. And I actually did that. I started studying psychology. Then I stopped it on the second year and I started working. Then I saw, okay, so I actually stopped university because I had to finance it. So I started working. Then
Mm.
I started working at Hilton
Hmm.
Hotel,
Yep.
which I love. I respect Hilton a lot. I always say I was living in a small town of Batumi in Georgia. And every time I would enter Hilton, it felt like I'm in a different country. It was so different, like environment in Hilton and the culture and everything. So then I loved it so much, I didn't want to go back to university because I was thinking, I'm learning so much here. What am I learning in that 45 minutes every day in university?
Mm.
I never went back, and I just focused on my career.
So it's amazing how, how life takes us on a journey, on a path. And what would you say is one like big, giant, audacious goal you have, business goal that has not yet been achieved?
I would say I would still stick with I want to achieve my goal that I have for this year now, to have helped 5,000 people. That's like my whole concentration is on that now. Or every platform, everything that I'm doing is towards that goal. I have like my mood board,
Your
or
vision
where
board, yeah. Uh-huh.
board where I put my like achievements every week. Everything goes to that. How many people? Okay, how many people? I'm gonna do the workshop next week. I'm gonna have how many people? How many new people? Then I'm gonna do the group coaching. How much can I do? So can I achieve that 5K, 5,000 people by the end of the year? So like all my goal goes there. And I think for like the big picture and having the big goal, I don't think that way right now. I just think this year, this is what I want to
Hmm.
do. So
Yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna have to jump back on in about a year when you reach that
Yeah.
5,000 number, because then the number may be
Next
50,000,
January.
exactly that, because that will generate your new goal for sure.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. That is such an amazing thing, and it's just been really cool to hear your story, and just the path you've taken, the lessons you've learned. I love the way you kind of been pretty fluid and flexible, as you've done a number of things, and you kind of look back and kind of put those pieces together, almost
Yeah.
like a mosaic of saying, okay, what does this lead me to now? I want to um, I want to do for a career what I needed, when
Yes.
I was at that stage. So what do you think I mean, are you interested in growing an agency of some sort? Doing coursework, doing, training people so they
Yeah.
can also train others under you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm already thinking about that because like my time won't be enough for all the coaching that we have planned for even this year. Yeah, I'm just focused on having let's say this. I don't want to quickly uh grow um grow the business in a way that I don't want it to affect the quality, because
Mhm.
I really think I want to be the business in this space, in the coaching space, where someone comes and they have all the support, all the
Mhm.
details,
Yep.
all the practical everything. Because I've done different different courses, and I've paid for so many things, not only for career but for different stuff. And I have always left with the feeling that I needed more support, that it was kind of not enough. It was generic, something like that. So all my focus goes to whoever comes to me, they have the whole support, like details. I'm not going to leave them in the middle if they are like confused or not sure. So yeah, my focus for this year at least will be to grow slowly and keep
Mhm.
this the huge support that they are getting from the business.
Now, this has been such a good chat. I have really enjoyed just hearing your story. Is there anything that we have not that I haven't asked you about that would just be a great closing thought? And then tell people where the best place to find you online.
Sure. Yeah, I would say just one thing I want people to who can relate to also my story. Just trust me that only limit you have is how you think about your future. That's the biggest lesson I have learned, really, like the biggest lesson. If I want to go back and think about my life and what I have achieved, is that the only limit that was in my mind was that how much I can do myself. So please also remember and keep this in mind, that it's just your limiting beliefs, and it can be worked, and you can work on that. That's fine. It's not difficult at all. You can watch Tony Robbins or something like that. With
Exactly.
coaching, it's fine. You just get over it. It's easy. Once you get over it practically, not like think about it and watch the podcast, but practically, once you get over it just one time, just break it, then it's easy, nothing difficult. And you can find me on LinkedIn. Mainly, I'm posting and I'm sharing content on LinkedIn. I'm focused on LinkedIn. You will see my weekly workshops where you can attend absolutely for free. We have sometimes 3 hour, 3.5 workshops where I answer everyone's question. So it's very, very informative for you if you're searching for the remote career. And yeah, I see you too. I hope to see you around.
I love it. Tekla, thank you so much just for taking time today, and in the midst of a downpour there in Bali, she's
Yeah.
come online and foregone her trip to the gym today just to chat with us on the podcast. But hey, it's really been a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you so much for taking time and just for really playing your part in helping all boats rise in a rising tide. Tekla, have a
Oh,
great day.
okay. Thank you. You too. Thanks a lot.
Hey, before we close out our episode today, I want to give you a special offer from Tekla. Are you ready to skylight your career? This year, Tekla aims to help 5,000 people land their dream jobs or level up within their industry. Whether you're seeking a new job, higher pay, or looking to climb the corporate ladder, she'll guide you toward a career that excites you. It all started on LinkedIn, where people have found her free and very popular monthly workshops. Yes, completely free. She shares actionable strategies to help you thrive in today's global market. Hundreds of people have landed their dream career following her guidance, and she can help you too. Check out her LinkedIn profile in the show notes. We hope you heard some great takeaways and are now ready to take action yourself. As always, thank you for listening and helping all boats rise in a rising tide.